Hello and welcome. Today we're going to get into the holiday spirit. We're going to do a snow globe painting tutorial. So this is what we're going to paint today. A fun snow globe. This is the perfect holiday craft if you want to make your own Christmas cards, or if you want to paint something and give it to someone as a gift, or if you just want to paint this for yourself and do a craft and get into the holiday spirit. I had such a fun time painting this snow globe, listening to Christmas jazz. I put the Grinch on in the background. The audacity! And I just really got into the Christmas mood. So if you want to follow along and do this tutorial with me, then make sure to keep watching and I will walk you through all of the steps and exactly what to do. Okay, so first thing, we need our paint. You can use any type of paint really for this tutorial. I am using acrylic, but you can follow along with whatever you have. And for colors, you just kind of want a variety. You also want to have white and preferably like brown or burnt sienna if available. So the first step, because this is a snow globe, we will need to draw a circle. Now you can do this freehand. I like to grab something from around the house to get like a perfect circle. So a plant pot, plate, that kind of thing. And you can draw your circle for your snow globe. I just grabbed some blue and white for a light blue color to draw out the snow globe with. And with a thin brush, we can just trace our circle and get our snow globe. And then we can draw out a quick base for the snow globe as well. Okay, so next we're gonna paint our sky. So I'm grabbing a larger brush because it will cover more area. I'm mixing up some blue, purple, and even a little bit of green. We really want our colors to be multi-dimensional. I rarely ever just use like a color straight out of the tube. I always like to mix it up with more shades so that it has some purples and greens and it really looks interesting, you know? I grabbed a little water as well with my acrylic paints just to thin them out. And we will just paint the night sky. And I'm also drawing out a line where the snow will be as well. So next we want to add a little bit of shadow to our sky. I grabbed a little bit of white just to mix a lighter blue version and give our horizon a little bit of light. And then also we want a darker shadow for the top of the sky, so I grabbed some purples and greens for that. This just gives us like a gradient of sorts. We have a dark, middle, light tone. It makes our sky look more dimensional and less flat. And next, if you have a dry brush, feel free to take that and sort of blend out your sky just so it's a little bit smoother. A secret I have is I like to use makeup brushes for blending. They're so soft and there's so many bristles and they're just like perfect for blending. And last step for our sky, I'm grabbing some white with my thin tipped brush and we're gonna add some cute snowflakes all over the night sky and just zhuzh everything up. Okay, we're ready for the snow. This is where it gets really fun. So go ahead and mix up some white with a tiny bit of purple. This is just to give the snow a little bit of color. I never really like to use just plain white. I always like to mix it with some sort of shade. Because in real life, that's how whites are as well. They're never fully white. They're like yellow tinted or purple tinted. So purple is a great color for snow, but just a tiny amount. And we'll just go ahead and paint some snow. When you're painting, really pay attention to the direction of your brush strokes. So when you think of snow, you probably think of like hills and, you know, sweeping diagonal hills. So you want to move your brush in that sort of way versus, you know, if you did a bunch of small tiny brush strokes with a short brush, that might look like fur on a dog. So it's really interesting how just the texture and direction of your brush strokes can help you tell a story. So you can see that I'm using longer, you know, wider brush strokes versus like short and choppy. And then we just want to blend everything out. And this next step is really important. So we want to add some shadows to our snow to make it look a little bit more realistic. So for the shadow, you know, I just wanted like a grayish color. Grabbed some blue, white, brown, a little purple, and now we have a nice like medium gray color, perfect for snow shadows. And I'm just kind of putting like a few oval shapes. I'm just thinking about where the houses will be and just kind of like putting them anywhere. It's really not about being perfect. It's just like having some kind of dimension will always look better than nothing. And then if you have a dry brush, you can blend that out a little bit. And then I'm taking that color and I'm also gonna put it around the edges of the snow globe. That also just gives more dimension to the globe itself and just more interest, you know, to the eye. And then you can just blend all of that out until you think it looks good. And next we're gonna go on to the houses. All right, and so for the houses, I'm mixing up some burnt sienna and white to get a nice light brown type of color. You can honestly use any color for your houses, so feel free to experiment with red, pink, blue, green, really anything. Use your imagination. That is what art is all about. I like the light brown because it's earthy and kind of Christmassy as well. You can also make your houses tall and thin or shorter and wider. Just feel free to go wild and do whatever your heart desires. You do want to leave some room for the trees and snowmen and things like that, so keep your houses fairly small. You can see that mine really aren't taking up a ton of the snow globe because we do want to add more stuff. Then I decided, you know what, I will make the houses different colors. So for one of them, I mixed up alizarin crimson and burnt sienna for like a nice red, brown, darker color. But you can totally leave them light brown as well. And you don't need to paint the roofs because we are going to add white snow there soon. So you can just leave those blank. For my left house, I decided that Naples yellow and white would be a cute color. So I just mixed up a little light yellow for that one. And now let's add some fun snow to the tops of the houses. Things are really coming together now. You can start to see the wintry vision, the beautiful snow-topped land here. So next we're gonna go to the trees and snow people. I'm grabbing a larger filbert brush, but really any will do that you have. I'm mixing up some dark green, some burnt sienna, and even a little blue for good measure. Again, we like to have multi-dimensional colors. And I'm just mapping out where the trees will go, evenly spacing them out. You don't want too many, but you do want it to feel like a Christmassy forest, obviously. And the first method that we'll try is think about doing a mustache, like mustaches over and over and over, and that will give you a nice, cute, evergreen tree. And then another method is to do the frown. So I kind of zigzag back and forth in a frowny motion, and you get another type of cute evergreen tree. Make your bottom zags a little bit wider as well. Swipe left, swipe right. It's also fun to use both methods because then your painting looks a little bit more interesting. It's not so like uniform looking, so I like to mix it up with the trees.
Merry Christmas, baby. Reindeer's coming out to play. Santa Claus is packing the presents, making sure you've been behaving okay. Merry Christmas, honey.
Okay, it's snow people time. For the snow people, I am grabbing pure white because it will stand out on our snow, which is another reason why doing the snow with a little bit of purple and like shadows is great, because now our snow people will really stand out with the pure white. I'm adding a little bit of alizarin crimson to create some beanies and scarf for the snow people. And then I just mixed up a quick purple and green to make like a DIY black. And you can add that for the eyes, smile, buttons, that sort of thing.
Merry Christmas, baby.
And then burnt sienna is really great for the stick arms. And then I just kind of added some white polka dots to the scarf and hat for fun.
Now wish upon.
Okay, and now that our trees are dry, we can add some snow to them. I grabbed a medium round brush. Any brush is okay, you just don't want it too small because that makes it harder to get the fluffy brush strokes that we want. So grab your medium brush, grab some white, and then the hand motion here is kind of like a tap, 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 almost like stippling, like just repetitive brush strokes, tap, 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 but you're sort of going in the same direction as the tree. So you're doing the mustache or you're doing the frowny, and you just want soft, light brush strokes.
Come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Come, let us adore him. Come, let us adore him. Come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Come, let us adore him. Come, let us.
And when you feel good about your snow, don't overdo it. Let's move on to the house details. Okay, we're at the houses again, and I encourage you to do some fun colors for the doors. I'm mixing up some blue for one of the doors. I'm feeling pink for another door. And we'll go for a tasteful, realistic brown for the third door. For the windows, I like to use Naples yellow. It gives a kind of like glowing, sitting by the fire inside effect, or watching TV or something. It just kind of looks nice.
Come ye to Bethlehem.
I mixed up a little bit of purple and blue just to kind of give the houses some shadow, just along the edges, nothing fancy.
And behold him, born the King of angels.
For the middle house, I did notice that my light brown was a little bit chalky looking, so I just went over that in a pinkish sort of tone, pink-brown color, just to add another layer, because acrylic paint can tend to look chalky sometimes if you only do like one layer. Sometimes you need to go over and do a couple more layers. Also, our snow is looking a little bit boring, so I decided to grab some more white, a tiny bit of blue, and I just want to add more snow to the fronts of the houses. Like, make it look like the snow is piled on and like falling on our porch, Just make it look a little bit more cozy, fluffy, magical, Christmassy. Then with a dark color, I'm just adding some window details. I'm a little scared that my houses are starting to look like churches, so we need to cozy them up a little bit. They're looking a little sterile and, scary. We need like magic and cozy. But if you want a church look, go ahead, obviously. I just want mine to look like houses, Let's add a wreath. That sounds really cute. So I'm just grabbing some green for a little wreath on the doors. Adding a little brown chimney, that also helps it look less like a church or office and more like a house. And then for the snow, I'm like, oh wait, it's probably piling on the roof. Let's make it look like it's really piled on there and like, fluffy and falling off on our porch. So I just added more to the edges, make it squiggly and cute. And I feel like this small detail just totally changed the whole image. It's amazing what one small detail can really do for your paintings. It made it so much more magical and cozy. Adding some red to the wreaths, just like a little bow, essentially. And lastly, I thought a walkway would be kind of cute, just to also signify these are houses, not buildings. So I added some pink brown stepping stones in front of the houses to be like cobblestone, essentially. Okay, things are coming together. We're almost done. I'm really loving how it's turning out so far. Next, we're going to add some more snowflakes and the final details. Okay, we're at the end here. Let's add our final polishing details. I decided to add a couple sparse brown trees just to, offset the green trees and add a little bit more texture. And because this is a snow globe, we presumably are shaking up our snow globe, so there should be more snow everywhere. So let's add some more cute snowflakes and just give it that shaken up look. adding some little tree stumps. I then realized I went a little overboard on these unruly branches, so just covering up one of those, you know, the magic of painting. That's what we're here for, making mistakes and then fixing them. And finally, let's add a reflection to our snow globe. So this is a glass orb, so we want it to look like that. So I grabbed a little bit of blue, just a tiny bit of blue and mostly white, and not too much paint. You want to keep a light hand so that the reflection isn't so thick or unrealistic. Your reflection should look soft and natural. And that one last detail just takes the whole painting and makes it into a snow globe. Before it was just a circle scene, now it's a globe that's reflecting the light on the glass. For the base, you can choose any color. I chose a nice green. You can do red, pink, brown. It's nice to choose a color that's in your painting so that it matches. Just adding some darker blues for shadows, of course. If you take away anything from this painting tutorial, it's to never leave a color flat. Always mix more than one shade and always have some darker and lighter tones, values within the color. Never leave it just one color flat, ever, really.
Come, all ye faithful, joyful.
And oh my gosh, we are finished with our snow globe painting. I'm so excited. This just really got me into the holiday spirit. Feel free to write on your painting, Merry Christmas, Let It Snow, Happy Holidays, something like that, and you know, give it to someone. That would be such a cute gift. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you gained some tips and tricks along the way, and I hope you felt the cozy, Christmassy, wintry spirit while you're painting with me. I am wishing you the happiest of holidays, and again, thank you so much for watching.
Come, all ye